Welcome to the long-awaited Season 2 of Sports Cubed. I'm Kyler Gammon,
I'm Brandon Beard.
And I'm Drew Pound filling in for Eli Grimes.
Yeah, I had some prior endeavors yet he had to fill in for. So, Drew, the man, always helping us out. You're a legend, man. Appreciate you being on here. So, I'm going to dive in first as some MLB action. It's been quite a while since we've met. First episode back. I'm super stoked. We got some great content coming up. We've got NFL draft. We've got free agency. My Eagles are currently looking for a head coach at the moment. That would be great if we could get one. So a lot of great stuff upcoming. Super Bowl. How can I forget the Super Bowl? I'm super stoked. MLB reporting they're going to have a full 162-game season. Super stoked about that. Things that finally are becoming normal again. And speaking of MLB, the White Sox signed Liam Hendricks, the closing pitcher, to a 3-year deal, which is a great move by the White Sox. They needed that great bullpen piece. I think that they're really close and they're really young and they've got a lot of talent coming up for them to be elite in the future, especially with like Luis Robert and you look at Yohan Moncada. I mean, a lot of great pieces are finally coming together, and I say that they could be contending, especially after the Indians trade Francisco Lindor. I just thought about that on the fly. That's a huge deal. I gotta forget about that.
And there's still plenty of free agents out there left in the MLB. You still got Trevor Bauer running around. I mean, there's plenty of players left that you can plug and play at different teams, and they can become contenders.
Right.
I think this is the first time in a long time that the MLB free agency, especially with COVID happening, it's been really interesting to see. And a lot of teams, it reminds me of Bryce Harper, and Manny Machado a while back. They're kind of taking their time, their sweet time, trying to figure out where they want to go. And also, too, the Nationals signed Kyle Schwarber from the Chicago Cubs to a 1-year deal. That's a great move, in my opinion. You got the great power bat of Juan Soto, and you kind of got the slap hit of Trey Turner. That's a great piece that they needed. And, I think that was a great signing for the Nationals. And I think they signed James McCann, too, maybe. I think I've heard some rumblings. So, Ian, quote me if I'm wrong. The man, as always. The Mets, that's who it was, the Mets. Yep, see? Where's Ian when you need him? And we got some hot, and who knows, the news could break right now as we speak. It's one of the top stories in sports right now. James Harden is not too happy with the Rockets. I don't think that was a surprise by anybody. It's been kind of rumblings, and he was holding out this year, and it's really boiling over now. And he is interested with the Philadelphia 76ers. My whole take, as long as they don't trade Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. I don't really want Joel Embiid gone, excuse me. I want him. I mean, I think he's a great shooter. Now, just like what Ian brought up before the show to me, you're lacking a lot of defense, though.
Yeah.
A lot of defense you're lacking. I mean, Seth Curry isn't your best. Coming off the bench isn't your best, and Tobias Harris isn't your best defender either.
And that trade would include Matisse Thybulle, the best defender on the team.
So it's like you're giving up, because Ben's not obviously the best shooter, but it's like, it's interesting.
It reminds me of that Falcons team that went to the Super Bowl. A lot of offense, but not quite enough defense to capitalize.
28-3. So sorry, Falcons fans. But, I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I can't really be upset either way. It all depends on how much they're willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up Ben Simmons, your future superstars, essentially, especially paired with Joel Embiid. I can't. And the Sixers are rolling right now. I mean, they've got to a hot start. I think that Doc Rivers hiring in the offseason really helped them out.
But either way, that Rockets team has become John Wall's team. He now controls what's going on there, and they need to step up fast. Being a 3-6 team, they have to capitalize and get something going if they want to reach the playoffs.
And John Wall's looked really good this year. Coming back off of, a 2-year drought, he's looked really good. And I'm a big John Wall fan, and I loved seeing John Wall do good.
Well, I mean, and as he should. I think, John Wall's been in this league for many years. He should be kind of taking the reins of that team. Obviously, James Harden's been in the league for a long time, too, but he's had character issues, obviously. So I think James Harden kind of took it John Wall took it as, I need to step up my own. And he's battling back from the injuries and stuff. So I want to see them succeed. I've got no problem with it. And hopefully James Harden lays off the food a little bit. He's looking a little big there. I saw some stuff come out.
Is that a fat joke?
Hey, no. I'm just saying for athletes, you kind of need to get a little more shape.
You're the perfect picture right here.
Thank you.
So there's really no big NFL news, right? Like, no NFL news.
Not a lot of breaking. I mean, you've got some coaching firings like Doug Peterson.
Oh!
And you've got different teams looking for new presidents, like the Panthers looking for a new one. Yeah, the Lions looking for a new one.
Deshaun Watson getting traded?
I mean,
Who knows?
The NFL world is exploding right now with that. There's not a team out there that's not wanting to get Deshaun Watson. Mine is like say the Chiefs and like that, but everybody wants Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Do the Steelers want Deshaun Watson?
I want Deshaun Watson.
I want Deshaun Watson. I want Deshaun Watson. We don't fight over Deshaun Watson.
So, fellas, we could go in a lot of different directions here. I mean, we might as well start off with the playoffs. Some of us are happy, some of us are not.
Start off with the early Saturday game between Colts and Bills. Really a highly contested matchup throughout, but it comes down to the fact of the Colts were unable to score, giving the opportunities. They were given a huge break at the end of the game to where they were able to get the ball back after a controversial not call fumble, and they were still unable to produce any points and still only lose by 3. And along with that, you had the failed 4th down conversion from 4th and goal early on at the end of the second quarter, which I would agree with. If you're at 4th and goal from the 1, have all the momentum, you're up 10.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't go for that
Right.
in that situation? And obviously, it's just simple football rules. If you don't get it, then the opponent's back up on their 1 yard line. So that's simple. By the way, real quick, shout out to my man Brandon. He made the graphic. And I think we do have a little more lined up. But shout out to my man Brandon, man. He's phenomenal at this stuff. So
Thank you.
Real quick shout out. But yeah, I mean, I think it finally came down to, I've never been a huge Phillip Rivers guy. Okay, there's just something about it. I think he's hilarious on mic'd up,
Yes.
but there's just something about him, and I don't know if it was he was just okay, he was just average, just your average decent NFL quarterback, and he's even with the Chargers, he never impressed me, and it caught up to him. I think that the Colts. Not Carson Wentz. I want to keep Carson Wentz. I think that they do need a quarterback, and I would love to see Matt Stafford go there.
Yeah,
Can you imagine Matty Stafford?
I don't know if Rivers is done, though. I mean, he was interviewed before the game saying that he wasn't sure if he would be done, period, but he said he wanted to be known as a competitor. And you're not going to be known as a competitor if you haven't won very many playoff games.
Right.
So I think he's going to come back. I think he'll have 1 more year at the Colts, and we'll see what transpires there. Because he almost won in that game. I mean,
that is true.
That 4th down stop, that was a good throw to Zach Pascal. I mean, Pascal just shouldn't have jumped, and he would have had that touchdown. And it's a completely new ball game, looking at 17-3 compared to 10-10 at halftime.
I will say, though, kind of bragging on myself, in our group chat, I did call it. I said, look, I think the Bills win, but it's going to be a lot closer than what people think.
Yeah.
And they were a Hail Mary away from upsetting one of the hottest teams in the AFC.
Yeah, and they missed, Rodrigo Blankenship missed a field goal. I mean, he hit the upright. You do that, you tie the game.
Just points off the board. I mean, the Colts just kind of shot themselves in their own foot.
And one thing I could say we see the Colts doing is bringing in another quarterback, like maybe a rookie. Maybe with their first round pick, there's someone that slips and falls. Maybe
Trey Lance,
Yeah.
Justin Fields. I could see falling. Maybe there's a lot of teams in that top 10 that don't need a quarterback. You got the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Eagles that don't need quarterbacks. And I could definitely see the Colts trading up and making the move.
That is true.
Trade one of those offensive linemen, couple picks for Deshaun Watson. I feel like the Colts are going to have a big offseason.
Well, I think also too. I think it's very easy for you to say. Also, I could see them trading up, and please, Eagles don't draft a quarterback. But I can see them back to the Colts. I could see them easily trading up, and I could see Zach Wilson kind of falling a little bit in the first round, and the Colts are like, hey, we need the future, and also remember Frank Reich was on the staff of the Eagles whenever the Eagles drafted Carson Wentz, who was out of North Dakota State. Trey Lance is out of North Dakota State. I think easily both of those two guys could end up going to the Colts.
And I feel like they do need more of a running quarterback. Like I don't want to put him in the same category with Lamar Jackson, but maybe like a Deshaun Watson, the guy, Russell Wilson, the mobile guy that
has
can
to scramble if he
Well,
has.
yeah, because plus they play. They play in an outdoor? No, they're indoor stadium. But they do a lot of the running. They do a lot of running. So I feel like you get the mobile quarterback, you run a lot of read option like the Ravens do, and you're going to be successful because who's going to stop the run?
Yeah, they got young receivers with Pittman, Pascal. Of course, Hilton's older, but he's still got a couple of years left in him. And they use the tight ends a lot. Throwing up the graphic, Jack Doyle had 7 for 70 and a touchdown. So if they can be get the mobile quarterback, that'll progress them a lot.
Well, plus you paired up with 2 great young running backs as well. I mean, I think once they get that, they're going to be really dangerous in the AFC South.
Now, who starts next year? Jonathan Taylor or Marlon Mack?
I think Mac's gone. I mean, his contract was up. He's injury prone, hasn't proven anything. Taylor all the way.
You have to stick with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he balled out the last half of the season. So I don't know if you want to. Do you want to touch on it now or later?
We can go now. Dreadful 48-37 Cleveland Browns Pittsburgh Steelers game. Right there shows it all. Marquise Pouncey, Ben Roethlisberger.
Really horrible scene. Scene.
Pouncey, first and only NFL center to reach the Pro Bowl, first 3 years of his career. Obviously, first ballot Hall of Famer, but knowing that he might be gone is a terrible loss for the Steelers. But we don't know if he's going to be gone yet. There's reports that he may be. But Ramon Foster, former left guard for the Steelers, did a report with him. He said that he wasn't 50-50, but he gave the story about how 10 years ago in the Super Bowl against the Packers, everybody else was heartbroken and stuff. But Pouncey was the only person to not shed a tear, and he said he had never seen Pouncey shed a tear until that night when he saw him with Ben on the sideline.
Wow.
I can't imagine how heartbroken that had to be. Of course, it was disappointing, but for them it has to be a whole lot more.
Well, I mean, and I'm serious. I think, at least for us guys, watching the game on that Sunday night, I mean, right from the jump,
First play.
I'll be honest, the first person I thought of was you, Brenton.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, he's going to shoot his TV. I felt for you, dude. I seriously feel for you. I mean, you have that, you have the incredible regular season that you did. Mm-hmm. And, that's so tough. I mean, that's exactly like if the Eagles in 2017 would have lost in the divisional round against the Falcons. I feel for you, dude. I really feel for you.
It's got to come down to, of course, yes, Ben had 4 interceptions and the Marquise Pouncey touchdown in the first opening play. But there's got to be some coaching aspects to that as well. Randy Fichtner never called fullback dive entire season. Derek Watt had 1 snap on offense all year after signing into the huge contract. And they called that play on their second possession on a 3rd and 1, and then punt. Next possession, 3rd and 1, they call that exact same play twice in one game, and it didn't work out the second time.
Wow.
And then you have the plays like 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter. And
you have to go for that.
Yeah.
You have to go for
Yeah,
that.
I was looking at my TV like, what is going on?
Because we had
that
them
is
wins
ridiculous.
at that point. Yeah, down 7, had them
At home.
Yeah, at home. There's no reason why Mike Tomlin shouldn't win for that. No.
I messaged you right after that game, and we both agreed on it. There are times where Tomlin looks great. I mean, he looks phenomenal, genius. And then there are other times where I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just basic football IQ. It was tough. I mean, I really felt for you. I really did.
Very rough. 3rd and final AFC matchup of the weekend, looking at Baltimore Ravens and Tennessee Titans, as the running back Lamar Jackson takes the crown from this one off of Derrick Henry's head to get the victory, as they will go on to beat the Titans 20-13 and move on to play the Buffalo Bills.
Breaking news. We have breaking news right here on the show. The Nets are going to acquire Rockets' James Harden in a blockbuster deal. Woj bomb right here on the show.
No way.
The Nets. Right here on ESPN.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. So
right here on ESPN. I just got the notification.
Who are they giving out?
It just says blockbuster deal. I'm doing some research, but whoa, see? Called it right there from the jump.
Hey, I got it. You guys continue to talk. I got you.
All right, so looking at that game between Titans and Ravens, Lamar Jackson was able to scramble for a 41-yard touchdown to give them the lead before going into halftime. Really, Lamar needed this win on his record to show that he can win in the playoffs. But looking at next week, going to Buffalo, it's going to be a little helpful for him, because if it's a snowy game like it's projected to be, he can run.
He's used to it.
Mm-hmm. He's used to it. He's never played a game in the snow, but that'll be a plus for him.
What you got, Drew?
Reporting with Ramona Shelburne, Brooklyn's acquiring James Harden in a 3-way deal with Cleveland. Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, and Radonis Krukas, I don't know if I pronounced that right, 4 first-round picks, including Cavs 2022 first via the Bucks, and 4 Nets pick swaps to Rockets. Jarrett Allen, Taurean Prince to Cavs.
If you can turn the camera and see Ian's face right now, he is going crazy back here in the booth.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you're pairing up Kyrie, KD, and James Harden?
No. We don't even know what's happening with Kyrie at this moment. So right now it's just there could be multiple deals going on with Brooklyn. Maybe they trade Kyrie Irving. You never know.
There was reports this morning that Kyrie Irving and the Nets were not meshing well. I mean, Stephen A. Smith even called him out saying he needs to retire.
Yeah, exactly. He's seen it retire.
Dude, Why couldn't the Sixers do that? Come on, man.
Would you? I mean, I'd rather have Matisse Thybulle at this point.
That is true.
Defensive, he fits better defensively. You know, he's not as good a shooter, but if you were talking defense alongside Ben Simmons,
the Nets came out of nowhere. Like, if you think about it, like all the reports are saying, yeah, don't really want the Nets, blah blah blah. You know, all leaning towards the Sixers. And I go at a glance at my phone and I read the Nets and I go, what? Wild. Wow.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how KD can pair with James Harden because KD, he has.
It's KD's team.
Yeah, it's
Let's
KD.
just be honest.
Yeah.
KD's the way superior player. Mm-hmm. He's one of the greatest small forwards of all time.
One of the greatest shooters.
Yeah,
of all time.
One of the greatest scorers.
Scorers.
Yeah, he's right up there with Kobe in that that scoring mentality. And it's just, can we say the same about James Harden? How inefficient he is, how good defense he plays. It's one of those things where I'm not really high on James Harden because of how inefficient he shoots, the defense that he plays. He's a great scorer, and that's really all you say. Colin Cowherd said it best. You have your all-around guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, who can do a little bit of everything, and you have your scorers like
Curry.
Curry can pass.
Curry can play a little bit of defense too.
Curry, and you got guys that can score, just like Harden. I can't think of anybody else on the top of my head because he's the main guy that we're talking about right now. But
not Lillard, maybe.
No, because I like Damian Lillard a lot. I'm not saying James Harden is a bad player, and I'm not saying I'm favoring Damian Lillard because I feel like he's done more with less. CJ, right. Who would you rather have, Chris Paul or CJ McCollum?
I gotta go Paul.
Yeah, and so they've been to the same round, and the Rockets were one win away from advancing to the finals. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things where I'm not really high on Harden, but I can see why everybody else kind of is.
Wow. I don't know. Whoa, Woj bomb right here on the show. What, Ian? Crazy stuff happening. Look at that, man. Wild stuff.
I can't believe they traded Josh. Or not Josh.
Oh, here he comes. The man. He's giving his report.
What we got?
What you got, Ian?
I just can't believe that they traded. I'm a Cavs fan, by the way, so. Getting Jared Allen and Taurean Prince, whenever you have Kevin Love and Andre Drummond, makes no sense.
Could a Kevin Love trade be coming? A DeAndre Drummond trade be coming?
I'm not sure about that, but
I think you got to keep him.
I think you got to keep all of them, to be honest, or because I think Drummond's on his final year of his contract.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Accepted his player exception. I really wish they could extend him, but I don't know if he's wanting to go to a team that's slowly rebuilding, I would say. But I would say Jared Allen, I'm not sure about that because you put him as more of as a two-way kind of guy. You pair him up with a guy like Colin Sexton, and you get Andre Drummond in there. He should be a starting center, and I'll say that. He should be a starting center. He should not be coming off the bench in Cleveland. I just don't think about that. That's my 2 cents. Wow. I'm out. Peace.
Ian, the man, the man of the people. You just gotta love it. A part of me wants to kind of give our predictions for the rest of the playoffs, but how can I just leave that? Like we're still getting news on everything.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, hold on. We'll just real quick. We'll let everything settle, let everything get finalized. If there's any more pieces somehow added, okay. Who knows? There might be another trade coming.
Right.
We'll real quick. We'll give our quick Super Bowl champion predictions real quick. Kind of check up on it, and then keep
rolling with the punches.
Yep. Wow. You can throw this report out the window. That don't matter anymore. That was all a report of James Harden wanting to go to the Sixers from ESPN about 30 minutes ago. You can throw that out the window.
Looking at in and out the NFC, you got Tampa Bay taking down Washington after a great performance from Tyler Heineke coming out of the XFL. And then next game, we're looking at Rams and Seahawks. I'll let Drew take a little segment here.
I was very happy with how the Rams played. The defense looked amazing. I wish John Wolford would have been in there the entire game. I feel like it adds more to our offense than it does with Jared Goff being in there, with Wolford having the run option. I feel like they're the same speed. I've heard they are around the same speed, but just Goff doesn't like to run as much as Wolford doesn't. I feel like that's a big part of going into Lambeau and winning is not throwing, it's running.
Okay, we've got some other news. regarding the Rockets are expanding the deal to send Chris LeVert to the Pacers for Victor Oladipo.
Oh.
Woj bomb again from Adrian Wojnarowski, the best in the business. Like I said, while you were talking about the Rams and stuff, I had to check on it, and of course there's some more.
So wait, who gets Victor Oladipo? The Cavs?
So like I said,
Or the Rockets?
I'll read it one more time. The Rockets are expanding the deal to send Chris LeVert. So they're expanding. So they're expanding the trade deal to send Karis LeVert to the Pacers for Victor Oladipo. So that means the Rockets get Oladipo, correct? Unless I'm way off.
Correct. Yeah. That sounds like
For Chris LeVert? Chris LeVert? What? Wow.
So Victor Oladipo is going to the Rockets. Jared Allen, Taurean Prince are going to the Cavs. And Karis LeVert and Victor Oladipo, obviously, we just talked about that. Dante Exum, Rondius Kirkrus, 4 first-round picks, including the Cavs' 22 first-round via the Bucks, and 4 additional Nets picks are going to the Rockets. So that's what the Rockets get.
That's a lot to unpack. I mean, that's whew.
Karis LeVert is obviously, we just talked about Pacers, Victor Oladipo trade. And the Cleveland Cavaliers get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince.
Wow. Breaking news. How about that for the start of season 2, fellas? I mean, wow. Okay.
crazy.
You just gotta love the sports world, don't you? Wow.
Finish off here. Last game of Wild Card Weekend was Bears and Saints.
On
Nickelodeon game right there. If you watched that, if you did, I'm sorry for your ears, as the broadcasting team was a little less admirable.
I am pretty sure that us guys right now that are freshmen and sophomores in college could probably have produced a better broadcasting team than that.
That punt is in the air. Whoa! I mean, the ball is up. Yes, that's where the ball goes when you throw it.
Or like the little. Oh man, that was atrocious. But
come on. I mean, talk about come on man moments. That's number 1 right there. But looking at next round, so coming up in the playoffs for divisional round weekend for the NFC at least, you're going to have the Rams and the Packers, and you're going to have Tampa Bay and New Orleans. You have Father Time against Drew Brees over there. Both
the history
Father Times.
The History Channel game.
Yeah, History Channel game.
I've seen that.
But we'll go ahead and we'll start off. Kyle, you want to give your predictions and go to the table?
So I'll start off with the AFC, NFC, and then I'll just go through everything. So I've got the Chiefs beating the Browns. Sorry Cleveland. Wow. Sorry Cleveland. I think your run's gonna end there. The Chiefs are just unreal.
The Chiefs.
I got Buffalo, and really, I've got Buffalo kind of winning in a landslide. I seriously do. There's a part of me that the Ravens' the Ravens' inconsistency is going to catch up with them, like they have been all year. And I think the Bills take care of them no problem. I'm talking like probably 20 plus points.
Really?
Yes. I just think that it's really easy to prepare for Lamar Jackson. It's going to happen at some point, I think. And then I've got. Sorry, Drew. I've got the Packers beating the Bucks. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is red hot, and I don't know. I mean, you could go either way, okay? But my gut feeling just says Packers, and then I got the Bucks. I got the Bucks over Saints. Yep. I think this is Tom Brady in the playoffs. We're talking about this ain't no Tom Brady in the regular season. And last time the Saints and Bucks played, that was arguably one of the worst games of Tom Brady's whole entire career. So. And I think Tom Brady definitely has that on his mind. And just give me Brady. I've learned time and time again you cannot count Brady out unless it's Super Bowl 52. And, so that sets up AFC Championship, Kansas City and Buffalo versus, in the AFC Championship, on the other side of the bracket you have Green Bay and Tampa Bay. And I got Chiefs beating the Bills, but I think it's going to be one of the games of the year. No question. That's going to be such a great game. And then I've got Packers beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've been on a roll this entire year. I think Aaron Jones will have to step up at some point, kind of a little more production if Aaron Rodgers cannot get it going. Which says up Chiefs, Packers, Super Bowl. Packers are your Super Bowl 52, or 50, not 52.
Wow.
Packers are your Super Bowl champions.
Packers. Well, I'd hate to disagree with you, but starting out with the NFC, I've got the Rams. I think
I knew I liked you.
but
Appreciate it.
you got. I don't think the Packers are as good as what they're hyped up to be. I mean, that defense suspect at best. You got Devontae Adams, but what?
I could have
What?
said something, but I'm just gonna let you keep
Oh,
going.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Steelers defense.
I'm sorry.
Trash. Okay, I realize that 0 sacks for the first time in 77 games. I realize that.
Just hold this up in front of
Yeah,
me.
4 touchdowns, Chase Claypool, baby.
I'm gonna shut up.
But defense. But
Got him winded on it. I got him winded.
that was awful.
I'm sorry.
Figure. But Green Bay, they don't have as many weapons to counter the defense that the Rams have. And if Aaron Donald is back, he's going to be a game wrecker.
I did see that right on before we
think
went to
he
the
is.
show that he's feeling no pain in his
Yeah.
ribs.
Which was huge. I mean,
Yeah, I seen him go down and was like, "Oh my goodness, we're about to lose." I was so upset.
But they still were able to win. Moving on to the History Channel game between Brady and Breeze. Drew Brees has gotten stomped on in the playoffs by miracles time and time again. I don't think it's going to happen this time. I got the Saints moving on to play the Rams in the championship game. Winner of that, I'm sorry, it's the Saints.
all right. It's all right.
Rams don't have the passing game that any of these other teams do. Like, they have better receivers overall, I would say.
what's your quarterback situation going to be like?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I get why you guys are not hating, but I see
Yeah.
why you guys are kind of pushing away the
Logically
Rams.
looking
There
at it.
is, yeah, as a logical. I can't. That's not him. I can't. And
Oh, no,
that's,
no,
that's
you-
one of the reasons.
Honestly,
I'm trying to be as logical as I can here, but like, I just feel like our defense is one of the best. Is the best in the league. You know, we got a good pass rush, our good secondary. I feel like Rodgers is going to have a really tough time moving it, and we've already stopped Tom Brady and Drew Brees. You know, I mean, Drew Brees didn't. We played us all those years ago with the no PI call, which I didn't see it, but
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it, but yeah, it's just our defense is special this year. Like that year, the year we went to the Super Bowl, our offense was good. Now our defense is good.
It was.
I mean, it wasn't
wasn't it?
bad. Oh, okay.
I mean,
you know what?
Oh, my.
You couldn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, but it was good, wasn't it?
Defense.
I'm sorry, I'm ruthless today. I'm sorry.
That was,
Whenever your head coach gets fired, all breaks are off.
yeah, just stay on the NFC least over there, and you'll
Hey.
be fine. But looking at the AFC side, I think the Browns are going to make it interesting. I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be dangerous at all. But Chiefs are going to
The
take that
Browns
one.
will be Browns.
Browns will be Browns. I don't hate them for saying that at all. The Browns will beat them for 17 years straight. Baltimore and Buffalo right there. I think Lamar Jackson has a chance to make this close, but Bills' secondary is a lot better than regular receivers. So Bills are going to win that. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and Chiefs are going to take it.
Back to back?
Yeah,
Back to back.
I can't see the Saints beating them there. I'm just they can't score as fast. I mean, you got slants, but that's not going to get you as fast.
Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the running
definition
backs.
of speed. And I mean, it also has to do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If Helaire can't play, maybe the Saints can have the upper hand on offense, because you've seen Patrick Mahomes be inconsistent. I mean, that Falcons game, Chargers game. I mean,
Well, he didn't
Chiefs-
play in the Chargers game.
No, the first one.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. now. Okay.
But there's some inconsistency that better teams can find. So it's possible.
So, then real quick with this subject, I'm going to fly through it. I'm going to tell you.
He's got to do his bracket.
Oh,
just
that is my
forget about
fault.
me.
That is
My
my
fault.
fault. I'm
You
sorry.
got goodness.
I'm sorry, Drew. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I definitely feel like the Browns could easily win this game. The Kansas City Chiefs have been struggling really bad here recently. You know, the Falcons game, they didn't look the greatest, only putting up 17 points against that defense. Imagine what they're going to do with the Browns defense. I feel like you say, Cleveland can make it very, very interesting. And if Patrick Mahomes isn't on his game, this is going to be a very, very, very ugly game. I'm not trying to throw you worse than the Steelers. Like, this could be very ugly
I don't
if the
think
Browns are
that
on.
they're going to snap it over their head and the running back and the
I'm
quarterback
not
are going to
saying
have the same
that.
10-yard dash.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this game could get very ugly for the Chiefs if they're not
Hey,
on the
I'm trying out-
Because it's going to be in Arrowhead. They have two great running backs the defense is okay at best, and that's all you need. You just need an okay defense. We've seen it over the past couple years. The Chiefs' defense was just okay. It wasn't great. Who is it? Chris Jones? Is that who you got over there in that defensive line? That's one of their best players. Tyrann Mathieu's good.
Matthew.
Yeah, and so
what else you got?
Yeah, and I definitely feel like I feel like you guys are sleeping on the Browns a little bit. Beating the Steelers.
I'll sleep.
Yeah, Brandon, you can sleep. Okay, you can sleep. But me personally, if Patrick Mahomes isn't on his game, and it could just come down to where it's close and then he makes a fourth quarter comeback. I just think that the Browns have a good running attack, and that could be very ugly for the Chiefs' running defense.
Plus, they're getting Denzel Ward back.
Yes, but I still have Kansas City. Okay, going through all of that, I still have Kansas City.
And a big factor with that too, Chiefs are going to have the most fans of any team that has played this year. And you're looking at it, the opposing teams have won more games this season overall than the home teams. That hasn't happened for 50 years?
And that's just the fans not being there. That's all it is.
So I think that gives the Chiefs the advantage.
If the Chiefs win this, or if the Browns win this game, I think Cleveland, Ohio is going to burn to the ground. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, that's going to be the Super Bowl right there. Yeah, I mean, I saw great points. I mean, this whole playoff bracket could go either way for me. It's just what I see.
It's a good games.
I also feel like Baltimore's run game is going to be too much for the passing game. I feel like they're going to dominate time of possession, dominate the run game. It's going to be you're going to keep away from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. That great offense. That's what you got to do. You got to march down the field, heavy dose of Mark Ingram, heavy dose of Gus Edwards, Gus Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy dose of Lamar Jackson. A lot of keep away. J.K. Dobbins. That's another good one I can't think of. A lot of keep away from Josh Allen. The longer he's on the sideline, the better. The more he can't get that arm in sync, the more their offense can't get in sync. I feel like Baltimore I could see Buffalo winning this game too. Like you said, this playoffs is very up and down, with how just everything has happened.
And it's going to be cold. You got to run the ball.
Yeah, and so I just feel like with the loss of Zach Moss for the Buffalo Bills, it's going to be a little bit tougher to run the ball with. Who is their running back?
Well, that's the thing. They did sign Devontae Freeman to the practice squad.
I've seen that.
So if they can get him to play, he's got to be better than Zach Moss. Zach Moss is a rookie, and
I also give him a shot. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
Why not?
I also have the Rams over the Packers. A lot of the points that Brandon said, I just feel like they have not played a really tough team, and when they have, they've gotten beaten very badly. Tampa Bay Buccaneers game comes to mind, and we beat the
Panthers
Buccaneers.
game. I mean, they won by 3 against the Panthers.
I mean, everybody's subject to a bad game.
Your whole playoff run is going to depend on your quarterback.
And I feel like John Wolford will get the start again over Goff, but once we get into once Goff gets healthy, I feel like Goff is our guy. But right now, until he can show me that he can throw the ball with consistency, he can take snaps under center without me looking at the camera going, ooh, that hurt. I feel like you have to start Wolford. And then I have Tampa Bay over New Orleans. I have LA over Tampa, Kansas City over Baltimore. I feel like we've already beat Tampa Bay once. It was a good game. I could definitely see Tampa Bay winning this game. I could see Baltimore winning this game, but LA KC, and KC takes home the championship.
You're betting against your own team?
I have to.
I'm saying right now. If I put them in here, I'm saying they're winning it all, baby. I can't bet against my own team like that.
I have to be, it's probably not logical having them go this far, but I have to have some sort of logic behind my bracket.
I mean, as long as Tom Brady's not in there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So, I think some big Eagles news happened. So Doug Peterson gets fired. We, had some disagreements on some coaching. Doug Peterson wanted to bring in Press Taylor, our QB coach, as our offensive coordinator, and Jeffrey Lurie said, no, we're not having that. They had to have 2 meetings, and after the second meeting, they were like, it's over. So real quick, I'm going to give you my dream Eagles dream offseason because I guarantee you're not really interested in hearing my Eagles takes, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So, number 1, and I made this the night before Doug got fired. So before any of y'all saying, I made this, you can vouch with them. I made this before he got fired. Number 1, top of my list, fire Doug Peterson. I said that. I was like, I want Carson Wentz more than Doug Peterson, okay? I really do.
So do you think they can find a better coach than Doug Peterson at this point?
Yes.
Who do you think? Who do you want? Is that on there?
Yes, yeah. So, number 2, keep Carson. I think now that is more likely with, because they said Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, the relationship is fractured, and I think with that being separated, I think that they're going to be okay. I want to keep Zach Ertz and get rid of Alshon Jeffrey and Malik Jackson to have a big contract hits. I don't. That's just what an Eagles fan. That's what I want. But I don't know if the likelihood of us keeping Ertz or restructuring his contract is going to happen. That sucks. Number 4, get Deuce Staley as your head coach. Okay, and I'll explain and I'll explain why here in a little bit because I have a whole head coaching deal. Or a great offensive mind and great offensive coordinator in general to help out Carson Wentz and rebuild him back up. Number 5, and this has to happen. Howie Roseman, if you mess this up, I might punch my TV. Draft, if they're available, Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, or Patrick Surtain. If one of those 4 guys, and I promise you, if we draft a quarterback in this 6th pick, I will be
On his doorstep.
How mad would you be if they traded down? If none of those guys are on the
A
board,
little upset.
if they go all 4, what if all 4 go and they trade down to get a future first-round pick, another first-round pick, and a future first and a first in the later rounds?
I just can't see them trading down in this spot. I don't think you can.
They need too much. I mean, at this
Yes.
point, they're all the
On
way
a
down.
downward spiral.
They can't.
We're officially in rebuilding mode, okay?
Right.
Like let's and that sucks to say, but you have to get one of these talents. And if you miss the mark again, as an Eagles fan,
He's looking up at the sky for God to hear him.
Please.
You got your man JJ, I think, a Whiteside at your side. What else do you need? I mean, J-Jaw all the way.
I can't believe
You might start crying.
I can't believe you just said that. And then I think for your offensive coordinator, I totally missed the mark on my defensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, I want Marvin Lewis. He's a 4-3 head coach. He's had prior head coaching experience. I think he has had some success with Bengals defenses. Like, for example, Vontez Burfict. Coming out of college, hold on, you look at it. Coming out of college, he was not anywhere on draft board, but he eventually ended up being Pac-Man Jones, okay? All these are Bengals. I know you don't like it, but all these are Bengals that have turned out to be really great players for the defense. So I would like Marvin Lewis as our defensive coordinator personally. And then for your offensive coordinator, get Chiefs QB coach Mike Kafka. He's obviously developed the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, he's taught him. Give him a shot, Obviously, he was a former quarterback in the National Football League. Mike Kafka was. He actually played for the Eagles a little bit. Give him a shot, what's the worst that can happen? And so with that, and like I said, whenever I say get Deuce Staley as my head coach, this is kind of where I'm going to tie it in. These are the recent updates as of today that the Eagles have currently reached out or have been in talks with. Joe Brady, the Panthers offensive coordinator. Ryan Day, which is an interesting one, Ohio State's head coach. Not a big fan of this one, right? This one I'm about to say. Gerard Mayo, the Patriots linebacker coach. That just doesn't sound good. Mike Kafka, again, they're saying for the Eagles head coach could be maybe Todd Bowles.
Huh.
We have requested an interview for Todd Bowles.
Been a while.
If we do that, I will go irate. Robert Saleh, but he'll probably go if I had to bet to the Jets, but he actually is doing an interview today for the Eagles. Arthur Smith, well, let me backtrack. Robert Saleh is the 49ers defensive coordinator. Arthur Smith is the Titans offensive coordinator. I wouldn't be upset by that because he has had production, I think, with the Titans offense, obviously. And Lincoln Riley, I guess they reached out to him. Don't know if that's actually going to happen. And I do not want that to happen because I'm not trying to have Carson Wentz be upset again for hiring the dude who coached Jalen Hurts. And finally, Deuce Staley. He is the Eagles' assistant head coach and running back coach. Deuce Staley has been on this staff for a very long time, okay? And he's been kind of screwed out of getting a head coaching job. A lot of people within the Eagles organization really respect him and think he has a great voice in the locker room in itself. You know, he's obviously, I think Miles Sanders has been a really great running back in this league whenever he gets the chance to play. You know, Jeffrey Lurie said he's a great representative of the Eagles and knows our values. I would expect him to be a part of the search as well. That's my guy. Just from what I'm hearing from the locker room, Deuce Staley used to be a running back for the Eagles, a great running back for the Eagles way back in the day. Give him a shot. He's been screwed out of this for many years. This is who I want. Pair him up, offensive guy. That's it. That would be my dream. And wow. Any more news on the NBA trade, huh?
I have not gotten anything other than just let me check my Twitter feed one more time.
Man, I know that's probably really boring to hear you rant about my Eagles spiel, but like, you heard it. Sorry. That's really mean. I apologize.
Other news, hockey's back tonight. If you're a hockey fan, you got 3 big games coming up. You got one of the best rivalries in the NHL, being the Penguins and Flyers. You got Blackhawks facing up against the Stanley Cup champs Lightning, and you got the Blues and Avalanche for the late game tonight. Looking on NBCSN for those.
You know, and I'm not a big hockey guy. You know, I like watching the fights. You know. I'll go to local hockey games here and there. But hey, we get
more sports.
Hey, more sports, and I would rather have more sports than less sports. I think everybody would agree to that after this year.
Plus, they're having a full season this year instead of 60 games like some was expecting.
I've not got anything.
Nothing.
Anything?
No news.
They're acquiring a 2024 second-round pick. The Nets are from the deal from the Cavaliers. Cavaliers get Jarrett Allen, solidifies their future as a center spot, and he's only 22, of course.
Did you hear that, Ian? Center solidifies their future at the center spot. Shaking his head no. I would agree with you.
Brooklyn
there.
sends 3 unprotected first-round picks, 2022, 2024, and 2026. Of course, the stipend rule, you can't trade back-to-back picks ever since the Nets traded for the Celtics. You know, they traded all their future first-round picks. That has been a rule implicated. So you got to space out your draft picks. I'm not seeing anything other than the last tweet.
So kind of one last topic here. So where do you think Deshaun Watson? Do you think he gets traded? Do you think?
With what happened with the Andre Johnson tweet and just how unhappy it is with the organization,
I feel like there's no reason not to trade him. Yeah, they can't keep him.
And if they do, then it literally reminds me of Carson Wentz this year 2.0. Like it just it's not.
Yeah, his head's not in it. His heart's not in it. You can't. You trade away your best player in Hopkins the year before, so that makes him upset. Then he has no weapons, and then
no offensive line for years.
Larry Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil.
Okay, yeah, Tunsil. That's the best guy.
Yeah. And then he says, "Oh, look into this guy," being the Chiefs' offensive coordinator, and they turn it down and they go to the Patriots. Which yes, players shouldn't have complete control of who's hired in the organization, but you've already solidified yourself as not wanting to listen to him at all. You got to pick and choose a little bit, but at this point, I don't think there's any way to keep.
I like the Colts. I really do.
Well, I'm just saying right now, he's not getting traded to the Dolphins. Like I can't see that happening. Like Chua's coming off his rookie year. Come on now.
And like, there are Dolphins players who don't think that they're sold on him yet.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's his first year. You got to give him some time. Of course.
That's every rookie quarterback. Like other than. I mean, I can't think of other than maybe Herbert, I can't think of a great rookie quarterback that's like, dang, he's good already. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least, like Burrow. I mean,
even Burrow was okay this year. He wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, no rookie quarterback's just going to come out there and lights it up. Like, I mean, that's just hogwash to me. But I just can't see him going to Dolphins at all. Who knows if even if he will get traded, to be honest. I mean, that would be a blockbuster trade.
It would have to be. And at this point, with the salary cap the way it is, I can't see very many teams making a blockbuster trade right now. Like this offseason for even MLB, that's why players like Trevor Bauer are still up there, because salary caps are lower because they didn't get the influx from fans in the stands, and there's just not going to be monster contracts this year.
The wheels are turning for you. What's up?
What is the Saints? What about the Saints?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're not.
Could you imagine a Saints offense with Deshaun Watson?
You think they don't have the money for that?
They don't have the money. They would have to trade a big defensive piece. But oh my gosh, that offense would be electric. I was only sitting over here, and you can watch it on camera. I go,
wait.
What about that?
Real quick, last thing. I would trade Cameron Jordan for Deshaun Watson.
I would too.
And a first-round pick. Because, dude, like that's your future. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your future. That's your guy.
And Cam's already almost 30. Mm-hmm. He's almost at his prime.
And they're losing J.J. Watt, so it would be perfect.
Are we seeing a hard reset here in Houston?
Woo! Hard takes.
What are they going to do? I mean, they don't have anything anyway.
All right.
Wow, fellas. Well, unless I'm good. I've wrapped up everything. Wow, I was not expecting big news to break like that on the show, but that was really fun.
That was dope.
Kind of apologize a little bit for kind of bouncing around a little bit, we were not obviously expecting that at all. So our whole structure of the whole show today was kind of Thrown out the window. Thrown out the window. Yeah, you can toss that once that news broke, but it was surely fun. If that is the indication of the rest of the season being like that, sign me up. Let's go,
Don't
fellas.
forget to follow the Instagram to keep tabs on what's going on. We'll keep you updated as soon as it drops, and I'm not on camera.
By the way, follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. Just give us feedback. We are man of the people. Me, Eli, Drew, and Brenton. We are. I about dropped my pen. We are the man of the people, and we want to hear. We want to hear your input. Like what should we do this? Should we do that?
Why do you disagree with our takes? So. We're down to get down and dirty with the fans.
Whoa!
Okay. I see where that came from. That.
But be sure to like us. Like I said, you would have gotten us a little bit of a sneak peek if you would have followed our Instagram page. Because
Brandon's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Takes.
Brandon provides with the amazing backgrounds and posts. But anyways, that's gonna do it for the Sports Cubed Season 1 premiere. Or Season 2 premiere. I just botched that up. Hey, it happens.
We're back.
But anyway, that's going to wrap up our Sports Cube Season 2 premiere. From Kyler Gammon,
Brenton Beard,
And Drew Poughton.
we'll see you next time.